Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Talking to the Dog Benfica podcast. Tonight, episode number 186, we will look back at the Maritimo game, also the Nacional game, two teams from the Madeira island, and we'll look ahead to the Estoril game. We've also hit the halfway mark of the season, at least domestically, so we'll take a look back at what the first half was and some expectations, whether our expectations were met or not in this first half. With me tonight, and perhaps his last time for a long time, Mr. Steve Santos.
What's going on, everybody?
And Cristiano Oliveira's here.
What's going on, everybody? Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean, Steve Santos possibly for the very last time in a long time? What's this talk? What's going on?
Well, you're going to be busy changing diapers if all goes well.
Bro, it takes an hour to do this podcast. I don't want to hear it. All right?
It takes an hour for Chris. It takes at least 4 to 5 hours for me. But anyway.
Totally shot contigo. I just want you guys to know that this is live. There's no take, Steve. This is live. This shouldn't be 4 or 5 hours for you. But nonetheless, what's going on? I miss you guys. I haven't been on since last year. So much has happened.
We miss you.
I'd love to say that we missed you, Chris, but
I missed Chris.
I'm going to be honest.
Listen. I know for a fact that one person misses me, and that's all that matters.
There are a couple people that
my
miss
man
you.
Speedo Neal misses me. That's all I need, bro. That's it.
There's a few people that asked about you. Vincent. I know Vincent was one of them. He's one of your fans.
Oh, Vincent, he's a great guy, bro.
Right.
Yo, guys. I'm joking. I'm joking.
See, we missed you,
Thank you, bro. I miss you
Chris.
guys as
We
well.
missed the humor of yours, bro.
I miss you guys as well.
All right, let's get right into it. Benfica played Maritimo a couple weeks ago, maybe. It was a while ago. Played Maritimo, was it midweek? Midweek match against Maritimo last week, so a week ago this Wednesday at Stade de Luz. I'll give you the lineup real quick. Júlio César was in goal. André Almeida, Lisandro Jardel, and Eliseu across the back. Fejsa and Sanchez in the middle. Pizzi and Carcela on the wings. Jonas and Jimenez. And finally, the Carcela gets a start in the league. He had gotten starts elsewhere. I think the League Cup. I don't know if he got the start there, but he got. But Steve, talk about Carcela a little bit.
He had a really good match. I just finished watching that as per usual. I'm a little bit on the delay, but Carcela offers you that little something different. He's got Ginga. He's like Chris likes to say, he's really good on the 1v1, so he creates a lot of imbalance in the opposing team's defense because he's good at attracting a couple of guys to him and then releasing the ball. Like we've seen, I believe, in the second goal, Pizzi's second goal, where he brings on 2 guys at once, and then he releases Jimenez, who crosses it across, and then Pizzi puts it in. But that's the type of stuff that Carcela is good at. He's got incredible feet. He's very good 1v1. It's the player that when we first signed him and we all went running for highlight reels, it's what we were expecting from him. He might have started off a little bit slowly, but at this point, he's been fantastic, really, the past 2-3 games.
I've been critical of this guy on more than one occasion, to be honest. But if you guys go back and listen to the previous pods, it's never been, I've never said the guy doesn't know how to play soccer. I've never said the guy doesn't have a beautiful left foot. I think a blind person could see that the guy has ability. My problem with him has always been the lack of effort. It looked like he was just out there, just going through the motions. And now it seems like maybe something, was lit under his ass, and he finally decided to show up and play. And he's playing a lot better. He's more into the game. He actually, you see him hustling back and forth, which we did not see that at the beginning of the year. So, I guess I have to tip my cap to him, and I'm glad that he's turned it around. Just wish he could do it on a little bit more consistent basis.
Yeah, for me, guys, the biggest thing about Carcela has been his release time. He's definitely releasing the ball a lot quicker instead of looking for that extra dribble. He's releasing the ball a lot quicker. And as Chris says, I've also noticed that his work rate as far as defending and being a pesky defender on the attacking third has also improved. Look, this is a guy that, by no means he's probably, if you have a Salvio at 100%, a Salvio that we've seen and that we know that he could do, is not a guy that's going to sit Salvio. But he's a guy that it's encouraging to see that we have somebody that can come off the bench if he is to sit on the bench and put a little spark into the game. And that's the thing that I'm liking the most about Carcela.
100% agree. I think we finally have someone, with everybody being healthy, that is, we have someone that could come off the bench, give us a spark, give us a lift, give us a little bit of different, playmaking ability, because we don't really have many options coming off the bench. I know we've played youngsters and we've probably rotated more this year than we have in years previous. That being said, this is a guy that we could finally bring off the bench and hopefully, gives us a spark. Just like I said, wish that he could do a little bit more on a consistent basis. And here's the sad reality about Carcela Gonzalez, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, he hasn't been great, and that's been our best signing all year. Think about that, of all the transfers we brought in, which is kind of sad, really.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, Chris. Steve, did you want to add anything to the Carcela bit?
If there's one thing that I've been noticing that I do like, he offers a lot of different passing options to Eliseu.
Yeah.
Whether it's coming inside and making walls with him, like a 1-2s, or if sometimes he'll stay wide and it's just a straight ball into him, which works as well. I just think both Guedes and even Gaetan are a little bit more. They're a little bit more frequently hiding only on the flank, and they don't offer different passing options for Eliseu in particular. Now, I noticed that. The whole thing about him being our best signing, I mean,
it's
the truth.
It's 100% truth, and that's the worrisome part. I mean, the Tarap deal was a gamble.
A gamble.
The Jimenez deal, the more and more you watch this guy, you just wonder what were we thinking? Where is he worth $9 million for only half his pass? It's becoming more and more worrisome.
Yeah, it's the shady deals that we do with Atletico.
I'll tell you guys this. I'll tell you guys this much. Carcela and my man Tarap, they're very close. And I don't know. To me, it's not just by coincidence that that Carcela's game, right, that he's raised his game ever since Tarap kind of got sent down to the B team. And I think that probably woke this guy up as well. Like, I haven't lived up to expectations. I haven't done what I'm supposed to have done. That's why I was brought in here. I haven't been playing to that standard. Maybe I should, give a little bit more effort, or else I'll find myself playing on a B team.
Yeah, that's a great shout, Chris.
And the timing of Gaetan's injury is perfect for him too.
Yeah,
because
it's perfect. You got a few things going on. Yeah. You also got the going away by Guedes, which as an 18-year-old, and we've said here many times that it's hard to sustain that consistency mentally. So Carcela the opportunity was there, and he knew that he had to work hard to take it, and he's making good on that opportunity that he's gotten.
Hey guys, quick question, not to stray off of the Carcela talk, but now that Salvio's coming back, most of the guys that have been injured for most of the year, they're all coming back, and the emergence of Renato and the emergence of Carcela, there's not really much room for playing time for Guedes. Would you loan him out for the remaining of the season? I mean, what do you guys think about that?
No, I think he's a fixture.
I wouldn't. I'd rather keep him close at this point than send him out and not know how much he's going to play, not know who's going to be coaching him. Yeah, I still think that on top of all that, I think Salvio's going to be worked in slowly. I mean, it seems like the date just keeps getting pushed back further and further on him. Yeah. So
which is fine.
I completely agree. Now, especially with Carcela, with a similar skill set, does similar things that Salvio does. Obviously, not in the same consistent fashion that we've become accustomed to with Salvio, but he offers you the same types of things that Salvio does. So it's not something that I'm dying to see back as Salvio. I'm a lot more excited to hear that Semedo is coming closer to being fit than Salvio coming closer, or even Luizão for that fact.
See, here's my thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Here's my thing. I tend to look at things sometimes in a very negative fashion, sometimes in a more positive fashion than other guys. I look at things differently. And my thing here is this. if the kid's not going to play, and this is Getz, if he's not going to play, you have all these other options coming back. To me, I find a suitable situation. I make sure that wherever he goes, right, probably, Belenenses, it could be a club in Lisbon. It doesn't have to be a club in, on the other side of the country. We could try to keep him close, make sure that this kid is going to play rather than have him on the bench. We still don't know what's happening with Cersei. We still don't know what, at least there's two and a half more weeks left in the transfer market. So there's always a chance that other guys are going to be brought in. Just to have him sit on the bench, I'm not a fan of that. I'd rather him go somewhere and play, get some playing time, get some experience, because that's what it seems to me that he's missing. He's quick on the ball, but we've all commented on this throughout most of the pods. It looks like he lacks, the decision. He was indecisive with that last pass. Let the kid go out and play. Let him go build confidence. So I would not be opposed to sending him out on loan. That's just me.
I just to finish this up quick, I don't think Salvio is.
We don't know. We don't know what we're gonna get from Salvio.
It's not a sure bet, Chris. It's difficult to send out. If you send out Guedes and Salvio doesn't come back 100%, who's going to play on the wing, right? That's.
Well, Vlad, tem razão, mas ele não está a jogar agora e o Salvio's not here yet. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like he's playing now.
But he's first option to play on the wing off the bench. That's you need at least one guy for the bench who plays on the flank, and I don't see Talisca as a winger. I can't even think of anybody else that you can.
Peasy's the guy playing on the right side nowadays.
But Peasy's playing it in a lot different fashion than what Guedes could do, and I don't know. I honestly don't think Peasy's going to be squeezed out of the starting 11 that quickly.
No.
I think I can almost see us altering things a little bit just to keep Pizzi in the 11 at this point in the season. He's in a good vein of form. I wouldn't. I personally.
He's our highest transfer ever, bro. Most expensive player in the history of our club.
There we go.
Find a spot for him.
Don't forget that.
I just think that if you get Gaetan at 100%, Carcela is squeezed out, and then like you said, Chris, Guedes is in third man on a pecking order. Yep. I'm also thinking that sending him down to the B team will be an extreme blow to his confidence.
Absolutely.
But I think that he has featured way too much on the main team to be loaned out.
Hey, listen, man. I think there's an argument here that could be made both ways. You just
and we just made them.
You just brought up the fact that he's third in the pecking order. It's that chain effect, and to me, I'd rather send him out and play because like you said, bringing him to the B team, I think that's a shot to the ego.
Yeah,
you let him go out, let the kid play.
Yeah, but I think that alone, you got to be very, very selective with a loan. I agree with you guys that he should stay in Portugal, but you can't send him out to a team that's struggling. You got to send him out to a team that's fighting for something. I think at least to keep his competitiveness and his hunger right.
Bro, if you're a professional soccer player at 19 who hasn't accomplished much and you're not hungry, then, bro, if you need that extra motivation, really, if they're sending you out on loan, it's for a reason. You know what that reason is, which is to improve your game. And if you have aspirations of making it to the highest of levels, I don't need to give you extra incentives. You go out there, you do what it is that needs to be done, so then next year you can lock yourself up a spot rather than be a third and a fourth stringer. I mean, really? How much motivation should there be?
Chris, but I think there's the whole negative atmosphere and even not just the atmosphere, but the type of team that he might find himself in. If he finds himself in a team that all that they really do is defend, there are some benefits for him, but it's not the right choice.
I think that he's got to go into a locker room that has ambition, because if he's going to a locker room where the guys are just cruising and that they have no ambition whatsoever, then that's not going to be beneficial for him.
All right.
So that's how I feel. So PT 2, Jonas 2, Jimenez 1, and Talisca 1. Talisca with his first touch on a ball. 6-0 for Benfica, and the game got quite easy with 3 goals inside 35 minutes. The game got quite easy for Benfica, and I think it's very hard to judge perhaps the progression of this team when you face a game like this, when at the 35th minute the game is over. I know that Maritimo played with very compact lines and it was hard for Benfica, but once Benfica got those 2 goals, it was all over. But The most important thing is that Benfica is now, I don't know what the streak is, perhaps 8 games without a loss, which is something that very good. When Patrick Hendrick was on our podcast, he said that what Benfica needed was to put on a good run, and I think that we finish up the first half of the season, and especially with this Nacional win, in a very good fashion.
For sure, and we're also starting a very difficult period of the season for us this month of January in a very good fashion. 2 games against the Madeirense teams, 2 wins. It's definitely a positive sign for the future. One thing to get back to on the game, I just want to make note of this. Jonas is becoming more and more like the Jonas that we've seen last year, much more involved. His touch, he looks a little bit more confident, a little bit more loose. I don't know if he was carrying a little bit of an injury for the beginning of the season, like it looked like he was, but now it's the Jonas that we all know and love, and he's top scorer in the league.
That first penalty was soft as hell.
Yes,
soft.
It was.
I'm sorry. I'm Benfica. Call a spade a spade. That was soft.
Yeah. The second one he ripped. I think he ripped it so hard. I think that he felt a little bit on the groin because he was kind of grimacing when he was celebrating.
No. I'm not talking about him taking it. I'm talking about the foul.
Oh, the
foul.
Call.
It was a soft foul.
It was soft.
He went down rather easily.
Yeah, the second one, I thought the second one was a no-brainer.
Here's a little side note, right? A little story regarding this game against Maritimo. So, the week prior to this game, or the couple of days leading up to this game, as we all know, Benfica exercised the remaining option to get the remaining 50% from Atletico Madrid for Pizzi for $6 million, which I kind of criticize a bit because I don't think he's worth $14 million. But whatever. Here, that's neither here or there. So everybody that follows me on Twitter saw this interaction going on back and forth between myself and a couple of the guys. So our good friend Patrick has the audacity, and I hope you're listening, Patrick. He has the audacity during the game when Pizzi scores a second to say Pizzi's making it. Well, I forget the exact words, but basically saying, look, he's making he's worth all the money. I forget the words he uses for some reason. I can't remember right now. But he says validating the big fee that Benfica paid for him. And I hit him up right away. I texted him. I said, I want to choke you the next time I see you. And he started laughing. And he's like, yeah, I did that for you just so everybody could get on your case. I was like, gee, I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, when you we actually mentioned this in the last podcast, but when you add up all the numbers, he is Benfica's most expensive player in Benfica's history. So, but you know how those Atletico Madrid deals go. They're shady.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's been good. He's been
good. He's not
until this past game.
16 million good.
No. He's been very good for the past month and a half.
But yes, until this game.
But you really see, like, if he had the technique to go with his footballing brain, he'd be worth those 16 million, if not more.
It was 14 million.
Whatever the hell it is. But he misses, like, the pass is the right one, but he mishits it. It's just so often that he does that. He just doesn't have that extra bit of quality when it comes to technique.
Yeah. I think that you could say the same thing about Jimenez.
Oh, Jimenez, you can't even put them in the same category, man.
No, but as far as he's got the right ideas, but the technique lacks.
Is
tremendous.
Awful. Yeah. At least Pizzi's just missing like a couple inches. Jimenez is missing a mile, man.
That dude, Jimenez got rocks for feet, bro.
Parece paus que eles
he blasts it at the goalkeeper when he should chip it. He chips it when he should blast it. I don't know. The guy is all messed up.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? He tries, though. I'll give him that. That's the one thing that I'll give the dude is he does not give up. The guy is a machine. He keeps running no matter what he fights. He tracks back. He pressures. And I guess, if you're not scoring goals, at least you're doing your job in other ways.
Yeah. So let's turn our attention now to the Nacional game, which was supposed to happen this past Sunday. And look, all the issues that we've had at playing in Madeira with the fog. I don't understand one thing. Okay, you got the Sporting game that's scheduled for what 6 o'clock, or whatever it was. It was 1 o'clock here in the States, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Porto game that's scheduled for 3:30 or 3 o'clock.
2:30. Sporting, I think, was at 12. Porto at 2:30, and Benfica at 4 or something like that.
Yeah. Here's the thing, man. if we know that there's an issue with the fog, especially at night, why aren't we playing these games at Nacional during the daylight? Seriously.
Bro, I agree with you 1,000%, but here's the issue. As we saw the very next day, the game was at 12, it was a 12 noon kickoff, okay? In the second half, the fog was coming in already. I mean, I don't think this is predictable.
Yeah, but it's a lot worse at night.
I understand, but
I never been to Madeira, but I wish somebody would chime in from Madeira, because this fog, and it's also, I think that the where the stadium is located is prominent to having fog roll in. Because you very rarely see that at the Maritimo Stadium, right? See that fog come in.
I believe
rarely.
It's on a bit of a mountain or a bit of a higher hill, and it catches a lot of fog where it's at.
Here's the question. This was Nacional. Did Benfica also have a game postponed with União?
At the same stadium.
At the same stadium.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. They share stadiums?
Yeah, União has too small of a... I think they have too small of a stadium to play in the first division, or they do the same thing that like Oroca and stuff do. They use the bigger stadium to play against the Grunge.
Yeah, but the league's got to get their act together. I mean, you got people traveling from the continent to the islands to watch the game. Now all of a sudden they got to come back because they got reserved seats on a plane, reserved tickets on a plane. They got to get back to work. You got the game happening at 12 o'clock on a Monday, where not a lot of people are going to be able to attend. Not a lot of people are going to be able to watch. Come on, let's get this together, all right? You got to play during the day in Madeira. Get it right. Let's go.
Good luck with that.
This is a league that's trying to promote themselves. That has given that where multimedia companies have ended the top 3 teams in Portugal contracts worth of million. We got to get this together. We got to make this league more attractive. And it's not going to be attractive if you stop at 7 minutes on Sunday and then you resume the rest of the game on a corner kick on Monday.
At 12 noon, no less.
At 12, hey, I'm okay with a 12 noon game on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, so everyone could watch it. Yeah.
Let's get the game going. I mean, what do they play at 12 noon in England?
Yeah, but guys, I think this whole 12 noon on Monday thing, I think they just wanted to get the game out of the way. I think this is a learning experience, like you guys have mentioned. They need
learning.
a
learning experience that they haven't learned from the past mistakes.
Mas os atrasados são assim, man. You know what I mean? It takes them a while to understand and get things. But unfortunately, we have a bunch of atrasados running the league.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Chris. Last time when we played União and the game was postponed, when they rescheduled the game, we were without Semedo, we were without Luizão, and I believe we were without Gaetan also, and we ended up tying that game.
Alfredo, don't go down that route, because they rescheduled this game on Nacional and they play on the 13th, so they play tomorrow for Gil Vicente for the Taça.
Yeah,
I understand,
bro.
I
don't know if you guys are aware.
That's a lot worse than what happened to us.
Hey, Steve, I heard on
team strong arm is what we did.
I heard on Sport TV that these guys have played like 8 games in the last like 30 days. It's something crazy with them that they've, so it's not good. It's not good.
I think there's a 72-hour period where teams have to rest between games.
And they're not going to meet that 72-hour period. And then the worst part of it is they went to Gil Vicente because they could obviously reschedule the game for a later day or like the following day with Gil Vicente's approval. And Gil Vicente, obviously, taking the competitive advantage, said, nope, we're going to play it when it's scheduled.
I don't know if it was Gil Vicente or the FPF.
No, Gil Vicente.
Right. So the game against Nacional, same exact 11. Steve, at this point, Fejsa, he had a pretty decent game. Not too bad. You think that
versus Nacional? Yeah. Versus Nacional, he was fantastic.
You think he's sat Samaris for a good time now?
Until he gets hurt. But yeah.
Opa, was he fantastic, or did that I was gonna curse, or did that crappy, horrific, disgusting, despicable field help? I mean, that was terrible. That made the Alvalade look like the world's greatest relvado, yo. That was terrible.
It was also due to the fact of the moisture and the rain and whatnot. Yeah. You can't be that too harsh on it. But no, I thought Fejsa was really, really good. He shut down basically everything. Even in the Maritimo game, he was quite good. Maritimo didn't have a sniff at anything because of him.
He does have a ball there that he just hands. He hands to the center forward.
The end of the Nacional game, if I remember right, that was it, and that was brutal. But other than that, he had a pretty stellar performance in both matches. I personally would opt for Samaris in a different game model and whatnot, but
this is what's working.
This is what's working. I'm not going to try to tell you that it's not working compared to Samaris. Samaris has not had a very good adaptation period with Rui Vitoria. I don't think he's really understanding, or maybe he's just not capable of playing the type of football that Rui Vitoria wants to play. Ace is a lot more comfortable sitting back and only pinching in when he can, not really bringing the ball forward or being very aggressive to pinch the ball early, like Samaris does all the time. So,
and by the way, Renato hasn't been exceptional. I think he's been very, very average at best.
At best.
And I think that that having Fejsa back there has kind of added some stability to that midfield.
That's a good shout. I think Renato, if we had I don't know, we had Samaris on the bench, but if you ask me, Renato probably deserved to be subbed off in the Nacional game. I know the pitch was tough and whatnot, but he did absolutely nothing right in that match.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen the kid really struggle. I always praise him, saying he plays simple. That impresses me for an 18-year-old. Doesn't try to do too much. In this game, he looked like he was trying to take that extra touch, and he kept turning the ball over. Yeah. And again, I don't know if that had, if the field played a role in it or not, but yeah, it was not his best game.
Yeah, I have to agree, and I think that the past couple of games, he really hasn't been that dominating force in the midfield, that influential player in the midfield. He's just been okay for me, and this goes back what we've been saying all this time, that for an 18-year-old to have that mental consistency to play well game in, game out might be a challenge for this kid.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully, the guy looks like a very strong character, so hopefully he can turn it around.
Yeah.
There's
he's
no
hanging in there. He's hanging in there.
There's no reason that he can't. He's not like putting his head down and hiding from the ball or anything like that. He keeps plugging away and he keeps trying to do what he's doing. I just think he needs probably a little bit more instruction from his teammates, or maybe just to calm down a little bit. But he's had a poor 3 matches now, I'd say.
Yeah, and Chris, you mentioned the conditions of the field, and everybody was able to see it. Soft pitch, heavy pitch. But these are the type of games that it can become very, very difficult for Benfica, especially when you're playing away.
Yeah, they were, but luckily they scored a nice goal midway through the first half, and then obviously with that terrible wannabe clearance by Lisandro and Jardim, I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah.
But Benfica was able to turn around and capitalize and score right away. So towards the end of the game, the last 20-25 minutes is when the field got really unplayable. But by then, Benfica had already wrapped up the game. So luckily, they were pretty efficient in front of goal, early on when they had to be. But here's the question: How does Pistolas miss that first chance early in the first half? I couldn't believe. A hop.
Yeah,
bro, that was.
It does take a hop. I've seen a lot of guys miss goals similar to that, but not.
Should have been a poker.
Yeah. It should have went in, but. It's not a very uncommon sight to see those ones that just take a bit of a bounce right before they get to the forward and they don't hit it the way they were expecting to, and it goes over. It's not that uncommon. But aside from that, the guy is brutally efficient, man. He didn't have many more chances outside of that, and he scored a hat trick.
The impressive one was the one with the left foot off of the Jimenez pass with his back to goal. Opposite post. That was nice.
The header goals are really good too. I mean, the movement for the first one where he sucks the defender in towards the goal and then peels off of him and just has a nice easy header. That's fantastic movement. The one where Almeida crosses it in.
And he just redirects it.
He just redirects it. That's a difficult finish, guys.
It is because he's going towards the ball.
That's a very difficult finish, and again, the movement is great because Jonas is never going to go fighting for a 50-50 ball with a center forward or with a center back. He's always going to be in the pockets where the space is, and if the ball finds him, he's going to put it in. So,
Steve, do me a favor, repeat that again. Say that all over again. Almeida, what?
crossed it, and all 3 goals were from crosses. And on the pitch that we were playing on Monday morning or Monday afternoon in Portugal, that was a very effective strategy. But it being your only attacking option, like it has been for a lot of games during this season, is not a very effective strategy, if you ask me.
Steve, you don't have to explain, dude. I just like to pull your tail, bro.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Hey, but dude, speaking to Almeida before we wrap this one up, what's going on with Almeida? It's been a good 2-3 games that he's been not that great.
Probably just a poor run of form. Almeida's never been.
He's never been great.
He's never been great, but he's been a solid 6-7 out of 10.
Consistency.
He's got a dope mustache.
Yeah, but I just think it's a poor run of form. He might be feeling Semedo breathing down his neck and know that his days are numbered. Because with Sylvie, I don't think he's got much competition for the right back role.
Yeah.
With Semedo coming back, he knows that he's under scrutiny very quickly.
Bro, the guy's about to get paid to watch the game front row seat. I mean, come on, how bad could it be for him?
I would hope to think that he doesn't think that way, because you need a bit of a competitive edge to be a good football player, and
I think he's content.
You think he's content with the spot on the bench at Benfica?
I mean, this is a guy that hasn't been a starter for Benfica for years. I mean, and he's still there. I mean, he could have left. He could have left for greener pastures. If you really want to play, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be critical of the guy, but, it makes me wonder. Because it's not like he's a regular. If he's a regular, I understand. Guy like Gaitan starts, he doesn't really want to go and sit the bench somewhere else. This guy's sitting the bench. I don't know.
How many offers do you think he's really gotten? There was rumors of some English teams last year or the year before, but were they true?
Bro, Southampton bought Cedric, man. That's all I gotta say.
Cedric's a much better footballer than.
You think he's a much better?
Than Almeida? Yeah, I do actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too. But anyway, so a good win for Benfica to close out the first half of the season, especially at a very tough grounds, at a very tough pitch, heavy, loose pitch. So a good win for Benfica nonetheless. So we're gonna take a short break, and we'll be right back with the second half. We're gonna pause for Nelson's halftime headlines, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back after good job, Nelson.
Always a tremendous job. This is my favorite one yet.
So now I want to turn our attention, since we closed up the half, and I'll give you some numbers. The first half summary. Benfica is currently in second, 40 points from 13 wins, one tie, and 3 losses. One loss against was it Aroca? Was it?
Yeah.
One loss against Aroca, where you and Patrick were in attendance.
Mm-hmm.
One loss against Porto. One loss against Sporting.
And just so you guys know, Patrick and I were not in attendance.
Yeah.
For those 2 losses.
Yeah. 45 goals scored. That is the best goal scoring register in this century, according to Ebola. Only 11 goals allowed, and I'll just, for comparison's sake, I'll go back to the 2014-2015 season, which was last season. At the turn, we were first place with 46 points, 41 goals scored, and 7 allowed. And 2013-2014, which was a 16-team league, right now is an 18-team league, so 1 less or 2 less games for Benfica. We were first, 36 points, 29 goals scored, and 12 allowed. And on JJ's first year, which was the year that we won the championship, 2009-2010, we were second at the turn, also at a 16-team league. Second at the turn, 36 points, 39 scored, and 9 allowed. So, I mean, we've complained about a lot of the quality of that Rui Vitoria's teams have played, but nonetheless, they have a significant goal output.
Like I've said before, I know you guys are going to call me negative, Nelly, but I think those numbers are very deceiving. We have bashed a lot of teams 5 and 6-0. We have struggled to create a lot of chances in games where teams were a little bit more efficient than others defensively. Can you guys honestly say that just because we have a better goal-scoring record than we did last year, that this team is performing in a better fashion than the team did last year at this point in the season? I believe we're 8 points behind where we were last year at this time.
No, we were 6 points behind.
6 points behind. So that's a win versus Aroca and a win versus one of the Grandes. And I guess
Right.
that's not that far off, but for me the product on the pitch is not that great. So
Cristiano, going through the preseason like we did, we actually followed the team through the preseason and watched them live. At this point, in the first half, reaching the first half point of the season, what were your expectations, and do you think at this point that they're realistic?
To be honest, looking at the standings, looking at the table, I'm rather surprised. I didn't anticipate Benfica to be within 4 points of Sporting. Told everybody at the beginning of the season, I thought JJ was going to make Sporting that much better. Haven't been crazy of Rui Vitoria. Haven't been crazy of any of the additions this season. We lost Lima, a couple of quality players. So due to our early season struggles, I mean, right now, I'm pleased. I got to say I'm pleased. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. But, yeah, there's still a lot to be desired. There's still a lot of football that I have not seen being played on the pitch. And just things that I hope that Rui Vitoria learns on the job. Because at this point, I can sit here and complain about the guy all I want. But that's who our coach is. So I have to support him. And I just hope that he turns it around. And like Steve's mentioned 50,000 times, starts to play the quality of football that we're accustomed to, the pretty football, the futebol com estilo. We haven't seen it yet, but to be right there within 4 points of striking distance, and now we're getting back a bunch of A-listers, guys that will jump into the starting 11. It's only going to make this team that much stronger. So I'm very excited for what's coming up here in the second half. And a couple months ago, I wasn't convinced that Benfica will be fighting for the title at the end of the season. And even though we're 4 points behind, Sporting Lisbon, I still think the championship isn't over yet because we've still got a lot of games to be played and a lot of quality players to be added to this roster.
Yeah, Steve, what's your feeling from the conceptions from the beginning of the season to where we are now? Because in all essence, we are in the running still at the end of the half. And I mean, there's been seasons that we've been 5, 6, 8 points behind at the halfway point. But really, playing as bad as we have. Which,
yeah, mas a gente tem o Jesus on our side. Don't forget that,
Yeah, but at that point, we were either ahead or we were desperately behind in the year of Vilas Boas. To look back at it and see the start of the season and to see the way I didn't like the way we were playing in here in North America. I don't know, man. It's about what I was expecting. I didn't expect Sporting to be as good as they were. I did expect a drop in quality from us from last year, which we have. I think the real surprise is that Sporting has been as good as they have been, and they're that they are 4 points ahead, because I think we've done our job for the most part, even if it's not been pretty. You can expect to lose the games versus Sporting, well, not so much at home, but the Porto game is not a real shocker by any means as a result. It's the Oroca one that really hurts.
I think the low point of the season was the shellacking by Sporting, bro. I mean, the Oroca hurts, don't get me wrong. That was the very beginning of the season, second game of the season, I believe, or something like that. And it's kind of like, okay, it's a hiccup, whatever. But the shellacking that we got by Sporting, I mean, come on, we didn't even have a shot on goal. I mean, they annihilated us. I mean, to me, that was the as low as it could get. But we've turned it around. I mean, let's be realistic. With the exception of Braga Guimarães, which we played well against, Porto Sporting, we should smack all these other teams around. So let's not sit here and make Rui Vitoria the greatest thing since sliced bread.
He's not.
But they have played okay. But is it the Rui Vitoria and his tactics? Is it the fact that the players are playing up to their abilities, or is it the fact that they're playing against a bunch of monkeys? I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah. I think
And the other low point, and I'm sorry, I just want to get this out the way. Rui Vitoria hasn't played my boy Tarap. Come on, dude. I mean, come on. I almost got beat up by their press officer for asking about Tarap. All this commotion, and the guy hasn't played yet. I mean, come on. Just a letdown.
Yeah, probably the firing of Lopetegui. I expected the Porto to be a lot better than they are right now. They're in third place. They're only one. Are they tied with us?
No, they're tied with us. The difference is goal differential.
Right. So, but the thing is that I expected Porto to be a lot better. I did expect Sporting to improve somehow, but I wasn't expecting him to be in first at this junction.
No,
I knew they were improving.
Chris nailed it. I read an article maybe a week or two ago. Sporting's 8 points ahead of where they were last year at this time, and Chris was harping.
What was the number? I was always picking.
You were saying 10, and you're going to be right,
no,
man.
I was saying 8. All you got to do is make up 8.
You were saying JJ's worth 10 points.
Oh yes.
And
true.
He's worth 8 so far. At the end of the season, I'm pretty sure it'll be at least 10. So, kudos to you. You nailed that. And really, he's the real difference at this point, because with anybody else at the helm, we're not going to get destroyed at home 3-0. A lot's being said that this season is the Benfica structure versus JJ as a coach, and that's the way that it's all been not really scripted or plotted out, and that's what's happened at this point. And now you have Rui Vitoria getting involved and butting heads a little bit with Jesus, but the last presser looks like he's trying to put an end to that he's not going to get involved, which I think is the right way to go about things, because with Jesus you're never really going to win, nor will there ever be an end, because the guy lacks class and he's going to be going after you every press conference. So it's better to just stop feeding the fire and just leave it.
Yeah. I still love my boy Jesus. I don't think there's anybody better than him at talking trash. But you know what? Rui Vitoria, I give him that. I see you, sneaky bastard. He came out with his age. He was fighting for manutenção. I mean, he really wasn't, but that was a good line, and that was kind of like, ooh. About time he came out with a good one.
Yeah, but JJ kind of lacks some class, where he said that it doesn't really rate Vitoria as a coach, period.
It's mind games.
But that lacks a little bit of a class. You got to have some respect for the guys that practice the same profession as you.
Bro, I think he is the type of manager that it's win at all costs, and if he's got to talk trash to the public, to the media, he'll do what he has to do. He'll fight and claw his way to the top. And then behind the scenes, Rui, sabes como é que isto é business, pá. Not personal. But hey,
I highly doubt that.
I think that I don't think that JJ realizes that all he's doing is really firing up Benfica's players. Because if Benfica's players are happy with Rui Vitoria, and Rui Vitoria is a player's coach that we know, they're gonna rally around him.
Yeah. Bro, he still trusts himself more. He trusts himself to get his players ready more than whatever he does to the emotions of the Benfica players. We saw right at the beginning of the season all the trash talking going back and forth. Absolutely worked in that Taça de Oliveira, whatever that worked. All the mind games. Then a little bit. It wasn't as much as that first game, but the shellacking that started to lose. And then Rui Vitoria comes out and says that he's infatuated with the club, and he says absolutely, that's why I beat him 3 times. I mean, how do you fight that? You can't say nothing back. The guy is a machine at talking. Yeah, he's classless. He's whatever you want to call him. But you know what, bro? When you're winning titles, all that crap is accepted. Yeah. Now, the minute he starts finishing second and third, all the media and even the Sportingistas, everybody will come out and no one will approve of that. But as long as he keeps his team at the top, you think he cares? You don't care about anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, so one last thing just to wrap up this look back at the first half of the season. Chris, Jonas, 18 goals, currently tied with Higuain and Dortmund's Aubameyang.
So,
African
Player of the Year.
There's actually a couple of the guys that have more goals scored. I think there's a guy for Shakhtar that has more goals scored, but because their league is rated less, they haven't accumulated as many points as Jonas and Higuain have scored.
Yes.
Well, Chris, Jonas, 18 goals in freaking 17 games. That's incredible.
It is a bunch of penalties, but still, nonetheless, incredible.
You still got to score them.
To explain to the people listening at home that might not understand what's going on with this. With the golden boot, I believe, right? A Boladoid or ball or what? Yeah, the golden boot. Every goal that Jonas scores, anybody in one of the main leagues throughout Europe, they get 2 points, credit for goals. So he's got 36 points. He's tied with Aubameyang and also Higuain. Those other guys you mentioned from Shakhtar and another dude from another, they get 1.5 point per goal. So that's why they're trailing Jonas in the Golden Boot standings as of right now.
Yeah, right. But I mean, that's it.
Quite impressive. Listen,
we thought he started late. We thought he wasn't all that great this season.
No, he wasn't. He was hurt. You could tell he wasn't the same player. The movement wasn't there. The confidence wasn't there. All the reports of him possibly having a messed up groin, it seemed to be true because as of late, it seems to be healthy. His movement, he's much better on the ball. His runs are back there. He's doing the combinations. You see the old Jonas. And like I said, man, this is what I do, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you got to tune into the Benfica podcast because I tell you these things ahead of time. You don't need to watch the games. Listen to me. All right? I told you the guy was going to be fantastic. I had some dude the other day on Twitter trying to tell me, oh, he was terrible. That's why Valencia let him go. Yeah, I know. That's why he got called up to the Brazilian national team because he was terrible. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't read papers. I mean, watch these games. Find out what's going on with the players. He wasn't let go because he was a bad player. He was let go because he was a knucklehead. Okay? The guy is a fantastic footballer. And in Portugal right now, I can't call it. I don't know. I don't think there's anyone better for the Portuguese game at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that the couple of a news story came out today in a ball, I believe, that he rejected offers that were millionaire offers that he rejected because he's well at Benfica, and also his brother said that Benfica gives Jonas everything that he wants, basically. So there's no need to go.
Fruta.
Cortes de cabelo.
Café com leite.
Picanha.
So, I mean, the guy's happy, and he's scoring, he's playing, he's tied up with Higuain, which is a world-class striker, if you ask me.
And so is Aubameyang.
He's definitely making a case to be called up to the Brazilian national team, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you can't really tell me there are many Brazilian players, at least strikers, playing much better anywhere around the world. I mean, you got Alex Teixeira at Shakhtar. He's been phenomenal. Okay, you have one guy, but there's not many other guys that are playing lights out. I mean, they're bringing in, they're recycling the Alexandre Patos, who's another Fejsa. He's healthy today, and tomorrow a guy sneezes and he pulls 8 muscles. It's not like they have many other options. There's no Ronaldo phenomenals. There's not none of these guys that they've historically had. So, I mean, he should get a call, but unfortunately, Dunga, I think it's Dunga Kabsudu that's in charge right now. Might not rate the Portuguese league that much, but I think if he keeps putting up these numbers, it's going to be hard to ignore. Now, that being said, he hasn't really, smashed the back of the net against, in the Champions League. He got 1 goal in the Champions League. He hasn't really scored all these goals against, the highest level of competition. So I guess you kind of have to take the good with the bad, but I think that might be the reason why he hasn't gotten called up yet.
All right. And since we're talking about news items, Benfica has confirmed the signing of Serbian 18-year-old forward Saponjic.
We'll figure it out at some point.
He's going to the B team.
For what? Patrick and I were talking about.
We got no forwards in the B team, bro.
Bro, come on. We got Salsadino. We got.
Salsadino is a winger, bro.
Who cares? I mean, we got a striker playing right back for the A team, and then the next week he's playing that striker with what's his name? What's the back guys? Moçambicano. Classy. I mean, come on, dude. These guys, they play players all over the place. Now, my thing is this. I think Benfica's trying to hit that lottery ticket, just like I'm going to hit the Powerball tomorrow, and then I'm going to buy the Red Bulls. I'm going to be player, coach, general manager. number 10, Capitão, everything. Alfredo, you're going to have a starting spot in the back. Because, I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We don't get relegated. Who cares? We'll get a high draft pick. So, you know what I mean? We'll get all my boys. All my boys, listen, you got to start.
The man's on fire.
But I think Benfica's trying to get lucky with these guys. I mean, they go out to these, they go out to these smaller countries and they get internationals, U18, U19 internationals, and then bring them to the B team. And then, like, whatever, just let them sit there. And hopefully, you get lucky and these guys turn it around and you can sell them for $4 or $5 million.
Here's a question for you, Chris. Would you rather get a lottery ticket from a kid that's playing in Europe than one in Brazil?
I'd rather have a good player. I don't care. I've always said this. I don't care where they come from, as long as he's a good player.
I think what Alfredo's trying to get at is the whole adaptation, and it's a little bit easier if you're already living in Europe, playing European football.
Absolutely. What, from Croatia?
Serbia.
I mean, really? Whatever. Oh, my bad. I was
a lot of these guys speak English, by the way.
What English, man? These guys can't even, dude, what? Yep, those guys, they're a bunch of skinheads. They're coming to Portugal.
Okay, all right. We'll cut them off now.
They're coming to Portugal. The culture is much different. I mean, come on, dude. I think Brazilians, the adaptation is a lot easier for a Brazilian in a Portuguese-speaking country than it is for a dude that has no clue what the hell's being said around him.
Well, when's the last good Brazilian player that we got?
Talisca! Deixa Talisca jogar. Deixa Talisca jogar. Come on. We got Julio Cesar. We got Jonas.
No, okay.
No. But
those are established players.
Guys. I'm thinking that, well, the thing they got to look at is that Serbia, wasn't Serbia the European champion in U18s or U20s or something like that?
U21.
Right. So the generation is obviously there.
I think they're under 20 World Cup champions.
The talent is obviously there.
Yeah.
Ghana used to wipe the floor with everybody. With 30-year-olds.
They come in spurts. Just like Belgium, just like Mexico also had a great generation. They won the World Cup back in 1956.
No, they had
They had the gold medal in the Olympics.
And they won the U17
World Cup
in the U20 with Carlos Vela, Gio, and those guys.
Well, those are the generations that you got to go look for.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not against the signing. I'd be lying to you if I knew exactly who he was and what he can do. I see that we're still after Zivkovic, who I believe was the captain of that under 20.
I think we gave up on him.
Really?
Well, the club came out yesterday with the press release saying that there has not been any offer made for this guy. So I don't know. But here's my thing, Steve. It's not that I'm worried, okay, about the signing. Like you said, I'm not worried. My thing is the agenda, okay? Are they buying these players because they have intentions of developing them and eventually promoting them to the main team and they have a future for these kids, okay? Or are they just simply buying them to, like I said, hopefully to have a lottery ticket later on?
It's a lottery ticket.
I think both ways that you're describing them, they're still lottery tickets.
Yeah, there's scouting going on for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I prefer these kinds of lottery tickets than the stockpiling that we tend to do in the Liga every year.
Agree, but my thing is, instead of spending $2.5 million on 3 or 4 of these guys, grab that $10 million, go get yourself an established player, a guy that's, because like we mentioned, man, this whole modalidades thing and whatever. I'm not gonna get into that, but I care about one thing when it comes to Benfica, and that's the main squad. Okay, that's all I care about. So rather than buy 4 or 5 players for $2 million or 1.5, get the $7 to $10 million that you invest on these kids that may never pan out to be anything, and get yourself an established player, guy that's going to come into the 18, and you know what? It's going to get my team to the next round of the Champions League. It's going to get my team to a 3 campeonato. It's going to get my team to a sétima taça da cerveja. That's what I want. I want to improve the A team. I care less about the B team. The B team is about to get relegated, and you don't see any effect on my face. I don't care.
Let him go. Let him go cut his teeth in the B team, which hasn't won a game in I don't know how long.
Since my boy Tarap showed up.
Anyway, let's turn our attention to this weekend's game, which is against Estoril. First game of the second half. The game happens Saturday, 8:45 local. Estoril is currently 11th. With 5 wins, 5 ties, and 7 losses as their total record. At home, 4 wins, 3 ties, only 1 loss at game. only allowed 6 goals at home. In the first round, where Benfica played Estoril at the Estádio da Luz, Benfica spanked them 4-0. The last 5 that Benfica has faced Estoril, Benfica has won all 5 games and have outscored Estoril 17-3.
The Estoril game, that if I remember correctly, we struggled for a good 70 minutes. We played football for 20 and scored 4 goals in 20. I liked what I saw in that match from Estoril. They play a pressing style of football. They do try to keep the ball on the ground when they do have it, and they try to play good football. I think at home they're going to be a tough nut to crack. I really do. I know we always say against anybody but the big 4, if you want to include Braga now, you got to always expect a win.
Yeah, they've only lost to Braga at home. Of course, they've played at the Alvalade and at the Dragão.
But I don't think this is going to be a very easy trip down to Estoril. I can't remember the Brazilian coach's name who's coaching them at the moment, but I was impressed with what they did in the first 70 minutes against us at the Estádio da Luz. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is going to be a much more difficult match than the one that we just had against Nacional and on the tough pitch. The pitch at I think it's Mota Coimbra or something like that. Yeah. It is a bit narrow. They're going to clog it up, but they're going to be accustomed to playing on that pitch. So it's going to be a tough match, guys.
Yeah.
Is Steven Vitoria going to suit up for them?
No.
Not yet, anyway. Something could happen before the weekend, though.
No word on Steven Vitoria. All right. Turning our attention to some Twitter questions. And Meg is great. Is the rejected offer for Lilu either a sign you will be a continued starter or the potential for more money in the summer? I just think that we don't have current backup, decent backup.
I think all 3 things, what you said plus both of what she said. I mean, Luizão is 34. To come back at the same level is going to be difficult for him. We'll see what happens with him. I think he's going to basically warrant a starting spot as soon as he comes back, just because of the clout he holds at the club. But I think he's going to struggle to come back and be at the same level that he was before at his age.
Yeah. Here's one from Kevin. Halfway into the season, what's everybody mid-season grade on Rui Vitoria? From a score of 1 to 10, Chris, what would you give Rui Vitoria for the first half of the season?
5.
Steve?
6.
Yeah, I got to be there. 6 or 5. I don't think that he has done a lot.
I don't think he's been spectacular. And then the one thing, man, and that people always harp on and they point to is, oh, he's played the youngsters. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. He was brought in with the emphasis by the management, by the office, to play the young. It's not like he made the decision and he forced that on the club. Okay? Yeah, it's great that he's playing them, but he's playing because he was told to play them. So that's just want to get that up there.
My whole thing is I don't know what his game model is, and if it is what I don't know for sure that I know what his game model is. And from what I've seen, if his game model is what we see, I don't like it. I don't think it's the way a big team like Benfica should play. I don't think it's ultimately going to be a successful one. That's the way I look at it. Him as a person, though, and the way he's classy and whatnot, and the way I like the way he interacts with his players and the way he portrays them in the media. I mean, he doesn't take shots at any of his players. He really keeps them under close wraps. I like that. I just think that tactically that we could be doing better if we had a better coach. I think we could be in a lot more control of matches than we are at the moment. I know we're still within touching distance of Sporting, but I never watch a Benfica game and think that, okay, the opponent is in complete control, the ball's in complete control, we're in complete control. I don't find that when we watch them.
Jesus, man. I scratch my head every time I hear comments like this. And I'm not getting on you, Steve, okay? Please, don't think I am. But the fact that you're talking about a football coach, a football manager, and one of the attributes that people point to are that he's classy. What the hell does classy have to do with being a good coach?
I didn't say anything about him being.
I'm not saying you, Steve.
I like the fact that he is. I know it means nothing towards whether or not he's a good coach or not.
got no class in
But he's a fantastic
him.
Coach.
Fantastic. Man, come on, this classy. That shouldn't be an attribute to describe a coach.
All right. Hey, Chris, here's one for you from Eric. Who gets dropped once Luizão returns? Should he be phased out soon, or can he do a Yepes and still play at high level age 38?
I think he's gonna play because he's the captain. He's done so much for this club that he deserves to go out on his own terms. But yeah, I think he should be phased out slowly. You have to keep Lisandro on this club. I didn't want to jump in before when the question about Lisandro and the rejecting of the offer by Fiorentina. I think to me this is a guy. He's a very good player. Not many weaknesses. Why go sell all of your good players every single year and go out and fish for other players? You got good young players. You keep them. I think Lisandro is a guy that has to play. Jardel, he's been spectacular, man. The guy has a heart of gold. He hustles as much as anybody. But he's another guy that's up there in age. So if I had to phase someone out, it would be Lisandro. But I can't – it would be Jardel. But I can't phase a 33-year-old Jardel for a 34-year-old Luizão. I think Benfica –
Jardel's not 33, bro.
I think he's 29.
That's his number. So I went with it. I don't know. Okay, he's 29. Whatever. Still, if I had to phase one out, I'd phase the older guy out. But it's not like Benfica has another option right now. They don't have another guy that Lindelof, I guess, is the guy, but we don't know much about him.
Yeah. Cynthia, comment from Cynthia, who was also about to have a little Benfiquista. Maybe Madeira should invest in giant fans to blow the damn fog or build a covered stadium.
Yeah, I don't think there's money for either of those things.
They wasted all the money on the Ronaldo Museum. They ain't got no money left. I think Ronaldo paid for that out of his pocket.
And Mario Mario Motta, obviously also soon to be dad. Got to give credit for Vitoria, keeping the team competitive with less talent than JJ had. Lots of upside.
Hey Mario, are you related to Rosa Motta? The hairy armpits?
I want to know who actually knows who Rosa Motta is. I know.
You're showing your age, bro.
I do too.
Manuel.
I do too, but I want to see how many people actually know. So we should do a Twitter poll after this to see.
Everybody's Googling it now.
Yeah.
Where did I want to go? Oh, JJ had less talent than last year, but Rui Vitoria still has enough talent to be competitive this year. That's what I look at it. I'm not saying that last year's team is not better than this year's team.
Wait.
With Maxi and with Lima, it's a better squad than what we have this year. I'm not going to say otherwise, but I think that the team we have should still be as competitive as last team's was.
Wait, it might be a better starting 11, but as far as a deeper squad, this year's deeper. You got Renato, you got Guedes, you got Smith,
Carcela.
You got Carcela. He met Mitroglou. You got Fejsa, who's actually featuring. Fejsa's actually playing. That's like an addition.
I would sell Mitroglou and
we can't
and
sell him.
Whatever. I'd get rid of them so fast to bring Lima back. It's not even funny, man.
I want to go get Carlos Vela.
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
And here's one from Neil. Does Jonas have a 30-plus season, 30-plus goal season this year for SL Benfica? I think that if he keeps at the pace that he is, I'm pretty sure that he will. And he also wants to know, Chris, if you win the Powerball, can you help Benfica win a Champions League so I could die happy?
No doubt, bro. I'll pay off the referees in FIFA. Don't you worry about it.
And Matthew Da Silva 6 wants to know what happened to Vitor Andrade. I have no idea what's going on with Vitor Andrade.
B team, baby.
For the B. He's not featuring.
That's where he's at, though. He's on the B team. He's on the bench on the B team. I don't understand.
Yeah. And I think that's it. That's all we got.
Neil needs to stop drinking.
Well, he works at the beer store. How can you stop drinking when you work at the beer store?
The dude just asked, does Messi ever scored 18 goals in 17 games? Ay, coitadinho. I don't remember stats, Neil, but
I know Jonas's brother came out and said Jonas wants to be at Cristiano and Messi's level, but let's be realistic.
Yeah, well, I mean, one thing is scoring 18 goals in the Portuguese league, and another thing is scoring 16 goals in the Spanish league.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
He's only scored like 95 in 1 year. You know what I mean? That was a bad year for him. You know?
Yeah.
A regular year for him, 60 something.
All right, guys.
Champions League. And now you're rushing me off. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning
Chris,
in.
anything you want to add?
That's plenty, bro. But there's not enough time in the day.
Yeah, I think that we're definitely over the hour mark for sure.
I think so too.
Appreciate the support. Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning back into the Benfica podcast. Tell your mothers, your fathers, your sisters, your hot friends. Check us out.
And Chris, now that Steve's going away on a maternity leave, are you ready to pull your weight on the Benfica podcast?
Bro, we have to discuss that off the air. We have to discuss the terms. You know, we requested to do a lot more, and I don't know if I'm capable or willing.
At 10CO10 is where you can find Chris on Twitter. At Steve Santos 6. At Benfica Podcast is where you can find the official Twitter for the Benfica Podcast. At planetbenfica.co. Planetbenfica.co. What?
.uk.
Planetbenfica.co.uk is where you can find our friends over at Planet Benfica on the other side of the Atlantic. Chris is checked out. And I think that's about it. Where else we got to plug?
Those shirts, man. Those shirts. Don't forget the shirts. Eat, sleep, Benfica, repeat.
Benfica.spreadshirt.com is where you can find Sergio's t-shirts. Eat, sleep, Benfica, repeat.
There you go.
So Sergio is in Vegas. He hasn't struck it big, or else you would have told me, I'm sure.
Sergio, make a baby onesie. I'll buy it.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for checking us out. Next week we'll be back. We'll look back at the Estoril game and we'll look ahead. We'll also recap the Oriental game, which is the Liga, the League Cup game, Taça da Liga, Taça da Cerveja game. And I don't even know who we have after that, but somebody. We'll play somebody, I'm sure. Thanks, everybody, for checking us out. Steve, good luck to you and the missus. Hopefully everything will go well, and hope to have you back soon, but I already know how that's going to go. We might not be able to see you until preseason next season.
Well, let's not go that far, but we'll see.
All right, bro. Thank you very much, everybody, for checking us out, and see you again next week.
Ciao.
See ya.